Okay, okay, okay. So real quick, right? I'm not like a super Star Wars fanboy. I like Star Wars. I think it's cool. If you had to ask me my favorite, the original, the prequels or the sequels, I will probably go with what's up, y'all? It's the Gaming Zone here, bringing you your daily news. So without further ado, let's get into it. $70 games will go the way of doo-doo, believes Saber CEO. The former interim Embracer COO believes developers will move to reduce risk and costs. Saber Interactive CEO Matthew Karch believes the $70 games will eventually become a thing of the past as developers move to reduce costs and risk in increasingly challenging AAA games market. But haven't they heard? We moved on to the 4A, the 5A games. The 6A games, they're a little late now. Speaking to IGN, former interim COO Embracer Karch discussed Saber's divestment from the troubled group, where he sees Saber's place in the market as a standalone publisher. The exec said he believes Saber, which encompasses studios like Nimble Giant, Star Trek Infinite, 3D Realms, Iron Fury, and potentially 4A Games Metro, occupies a position between independent studios and AAA publishers. Karch cited Helldivers 2 as an example of the type of middle market game it would like to emulate. He told IGN that one of his upcoming titles, Space Marine 2, will retail for $70, but only because he's concerned audiences will see a cheaper price as emblematic of poor quality. I think that as games become more expensive to make, the $70 title is going to go the way of doodoo. Dodo. I think as games become more expensive to make, the $70 title is going to become the way of the dodo bird. I do, he said. I just don't think it's sustainable. Look, you remember the hype for Cyberpunk, which I think actually ultimately performed okay. But with the expectations are so high and so much money is put into one title, it's hugely risky for the company that's doing it. What if it fails? You remember what happened when Ubisoft a couple of years ago, all their titles slipped out of the year and then all of a sudden they were in an entirely different place. It's hard to recover from that. I think the market is going to shift to development, which is not necessarily lower quality, but there's going to be an emphasis on trying to find ways to reduce costs. With thousands of job cuts announced across the gaming industry in the past 18 months, Karch acknowledged that AAA development is going through a major shift and claimed that the past trendy sky-high budgets and lengthy development periods aren't sustainable. I think that there's going to be a real shortage of game content over the coming years, he said. We've seen how many layoffs there's been. You see how many games have gotten killed, but we have a lot of good projects going on that I'm proud of and that I feel really, really strongly about. My opinion on this is that that's one way to look at it. Now, I don't know if he means that the $70 games are going to go away and that the games are going to start becoming cheaper, or if he means that the $70 games are going to increase more and we're going to start getting $80, $90, even $100 games. Something like Baldur's Gate 3 could have went for like a $90, $100 game just off of the quality alone. Every character has a voice. The moves are super detailed. The game is super detailed. The graphics are amazing. Baldur's Gate 3 is a perfect example of games that could like go past the $70 market, whereas Helldivers 2 is an example of games that cost less than $70 but provides the value of a $80 game. So really only time could tell with this. But however, I do believe that $70 is a weird price point, and that's going to change sometime soon. I don't know if it's going to get higher or lower. We'll just have to see, and I guess it really just depends on the studio. But that's all I have for this topic. Next topic. Okay. So real quick, right? I'm not like a super Star Wars fanboy. I like Star Wars. I think it's cool. If you had to ask me my favorite, the original, the prequels, or the sequels, I will probably go with the prequels. My mother took me to see my very first Star Wars movie. It was actually The Phantom of the Menace. I was probably like around 6, 7. And just the fight between Darth Maul and Luke and I'm sorry, the other name slips my mind right now. It was great. Like that fight stuck in my head for eternity. In fact, that fight, that dual saber is like a staple in my mind as far as weapons. Like a lot of characters that I create now have some kind of dual blade, one in the front, one in the back, or they'll have like two weapons just in general, one in each hand. Like I don't know. For me, Darth Maul changed the way I even look at stuff like that. But Darth Maul isn't what this is about. So let's get into this topic real quick. Star Wars Outlaws release date sends us back to a galaxy far, far away this summer. Hey, and if you pick up the special edition, you get 3 days early access. Not like I give a fuck about that game anyway. Star Wars Outlaws release date has been announced, confirming a summer excursion to a galaxy far, far away for real this time. A new trailer confirms that the Star Wars Outlaws release date is set for August 30th, 2024, with pre-orders available now. Do not pre-order this game. A pre-order bonus, the Kessel Runner bonus pack, harking back to Han Solo's infamous Millennium Falcon achievement, offers some cosmetic additions to the protagonist, Kay's vest ship, and speeder bike. As for the trailer itself, we start to get a bit more of a sense of what Star Wars Outlaws is all about. We already knew that it would be set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, but now we've started to get a clear idea of what's set to happen. Kay is trying to make a name for herself in the galaxy's famous lawless Outer Rim, while the Empire is distracted fighting the rebellion. Unfortunately, in doing so, she runs afoul of crime lord Sleero. Slightly more fortunately, she comes across someone who seemed to want to help her pull off the classic one last job to secure her freedom. All Kay will have to do is rob Sleero blind and make out like a bandit. That someone is Jalen, although given the books looks like an awful lot like Star Wars classic video games here, Kyle Katarn. Jalen might not be all that he makes out to be. So as I said before, I'm not really a super Star Wars fanboy. Real quick, I'll pause, or you can pause. Go ahead and look at this trailer. We're not watching this together. I already looked at it. I'll tell you what it's about. Well, I'll give you my opinion on it in a little bit, but go ahead, go watch it. Go watch it now. Okay, so if you looked at the trailer, there's a few things that I noticed right off the bat. Personally, the main character, she kind of reminds me of a Han Solo, a Indiana Jones, just like a fusion of all your favorite main characters put into a femme body, and then being unable to fight or conduct any real conversations or anything like that. I don't know. To be honest, this doesn't impress me. I wouldn't get my hopes up for this. But what do I know, right? I'm just a gamer. Elsewhere, there's plenty of peeks at the wider Star Wars universe. A cynical Mon Calamari warns Kay about the perils of her new life. A brush with Jabba the Hutt on Tatooine seems to stench pretty close, and with clips of Han Solo's carbonite form, and what seems like a very intimate encounter with Sarlacc, and an array of both new and familiar faces rounds out what amounts to a more wretched hive of scum and villainy than you'll find between here and Mos Eisley. Outlaws is set to continue what's already been a pretty busy year for Star Wars games. The well-received Dark Forces remaster and somewhat less well-received Battlefront Classic Collection followed last year's Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Add that to the likes of The Acolyte on its way later this year, and it's looking as though 2024 could be a good year for Star Wars fans. No, I don't think so. A lot of Star Wars fans is fed up with things that Star Wars have been pushing out. A lot of Star Wars fans are fed up with the pandering, and they want good stuff. The stuff that I've seen, I mean, it hasn't been good. It's been okay. Okay don't get the job done, especially when you have a wide array of audiences who are looking. They are willing to throw their money at you, and every time y'all get the opportunity, y'all fail. It's bad. It's really bad. But that's all I have on this topic. So next topic. All right, I'm actually pretty excited for this one. This one kind of gets me a little pumped up. Former Halo Destiny lead working on Unreal Engine 5 competitive multiplayer game. So the last time a former Halo person was working on a game, or they, separated to make their own game, Destiny was created out of Halo. Well, the developers from Halo and Call of Duty, they got together and they created Destiny. The first Destiny, phenomenal. Oh, so good. So I put so many hours into the first Destiny. But then Destiny 2 came out, and they drug it through the monetization ring. I mean, I'm talking about everything was monetized, from shaders to emotes to it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same anymore. This is a chance for them to regain themselves, if you ask me. I might not all be the same people, but when you make an announcement like this, you're going to get eyes on it. So let's get into the article. Probably Monsters, an independent game company founded in 2016 by former Bungie president CEO Harold Ryan, has created a new team to develop a competitive multi-game in Unreal Engine 5, led by former Bungie leader Chris Opdahl. Sorry if I got that wrong. Who has more than 20 years of experience as a game developer working on franchises like Halo, Destiny, and Hidden Grove, is the new team within Probably Monsters working on this multiplayer project. At Hidden Grove is not just about developing something different in the field of competitive multiplayer games. It's about doing it better as a team. Opdahl writes in a press release, "We believe that great games start with great teams, and we're building a creative atmosphere where artists, engineers, and creators can come together and thrive." Can I be honest? Just off of this picture alone, I'm not super confident, but I won't judge a book by its cover. Probably Monsters say Opdahl found Hidden Grove with two design directors, Raylene Deck and Grant McKay, both of whom worked together on Destiny. They're supported by a full team of world building, engineering, and production veterans, including exclusive producer Lori Ada Kilty, art director Jed Chevrier, and senior engineer developer Dean Johnson, and a narrative director, Kate Welch. A press release reads. Together, they bring significant AAA experience spread across Halo, Destiny, Mass Effect, Dungeons & Dragons, and more. Hidden Grove says it's hiring and seeking diverse, motivated, highly skilled people who share their passion for bringing something new into the world. As for what's to expect of Hidden Grove's first game, all Probably Monsters has shared is that it's a competitive multiplayer game, adventure game using Unreal Engine 5. Additionally, Probably Monsters have a new chief product officer in Adam Reimer. He will report directly to Probably Monsters founder and CEO Harold Ryan. Our definition of product isn't just the games here at Probably Monsters, it's also the design of the teams themselves. Reimer writes in a press release, "Beyond Hidden Grove, we have unannounced development projects that I'm excited for to share in the future." This could be great. That's it. That's all I have. This could be great. Destiny was great. And usually when it's the first iteration of something, it's phenomenal. It's rare that the second iteration takes it to a place to where it's better than the first. Talking about you, Dark Souls 2. But then the third iteration, usually, depending on what it is, can usually blow it out of the park, because now you've learned from the first iteration and the second iteration what to put into the third iteration, if you're smart. We don't know if they're going to be bringing in elements from Destiny. We don't know if this is going to be a first-person shooter. More than likely, it probably will be. We don't know what kind of weapons, what settings, anything yet. We do know that it probably might be sci-fi. Maybe a little fantasy in it. Who knows? However, I'm excited to see what they have in store for us. And that's all I have for you guys for today. If you like what you heard and you made it this far, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard and you made it this far, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. It's the Gaming's On. Peace.